Hi, welcome to Shop Talk Live. It is the first episode of the year. This is episode 357, and it's a good one. This is an episode Ben and I have been talking about for a bit. Rob Spiece joined us, who teaches at Berea College and Pinecroft Wood School. And it's just been a really great way to start off the year. A really good conversation, very interesting perspective. I really hope you enjoy it. We got some questions from our Discord channel, which I always like to plug into these intros and outros. So just so you know, our Discord channel will be in the show notes. It is a great place to find out about upcoming episodes, ask questions, but you can always email us at shoptalk@finewoodworking.com as well. Again, great episode. I hope you enjoy it. We are about to dive in. Anissa, you had we're just going to jump into the question you had because I think that's a great way to start off.
Well, I've tried to explain what Pinecroft and Berea College are to each other and then what Berea College is. And it is such a special place. But I feel as though every time I try and explain what it is, I fall short of really capturing what the school is, what you guys do there, how beautiful, and it's just such a cool space. So I'm curious what you say when people say when you're describing where you work and what the college is like.
Yeah, I hear you, Anissa, because I often try to explain and fall short. And something about being here really helps to tell the whole story. But it's a big and complex story, so I can give it a shot. Sort of starting in way back in terms of the history of the college, Berea was founded in 1855 by an abolitionist minister here in Kentucky, to be the first co-educational and interracial college in the South. So that's pretty crazy to think of 1855 having a college that is interracial in Kentucky. Pretty radical a concept. So that's kind of where the place starts. In terms of craft, there's a long history of craft here. I work at Student Craft, so Berea College Student Craft. Berea is a work college, one of about 10 in the country. So students that come to Berea come tuition free. So since 1855, when the college was founded, no student has paid tuition here. So students come to college for a 4-year degree. They don't pay any tuition, but it's a work college. They work somewhere on campus. So they'll be doing their normal classes, but then they have a job somewhere on campus for 10 hours a week, sometimes 15 hours a week, depending on what their schedule is. And yeah, they go to class, then they come to work. They go to class, then they come to work. Their schedule is crazy. They're very busy. They have so much to do because they're like any normal college student, but they're also working 10 to 15 hours a week somewhere on campus. And that could be at our college farm. It can be in forestry. It could be at the Boone Tavern Hotel. It could be, helping as a TA in classes, everything. So the college is kind of run by student workers. I have about 25 of them here in the wood shop, and Student Craft is comprised of a few different studios. There's weaving, which Student Craft started with. So way back in 1860 something, Anna Ernberg started Student Craft, then called Fireside Industries, and students would come to college here and they would weave and they would sell their weavings to support the program and support the college. And then Woodcraft came along next, sort of started as a place to build buildings on campus and then moved into furniture and all kinds of different things throughout the years. We have ceramics, we have broomcraft, and we also have craft education outreach, which sort of reaches out to schools in the area to teach craft to K through 12 students. So that's just my little slice of student craft here. Also, there's the woodworking school at Pinecroft, which I'm also involved with. And that's kind of off campus, just about 5 minutes down the road. tucked into the mountains, and that's where we teach people that come from all over the country. We bring in guest instructors, all kinds of things. There's so many wood shops here. It's amazing. I have two. I have this one that I'm in right now. This is a student craft wood shop, and then Pinecroft, which I call my vacation wood shop because it's like nestled into the forest.
Right.
It's got a beautiful second floor bench room. It's got everything I need. And then there's other wood shops across the street. There's there's a major here, technology and applied design, which they have a wood shop down there. And then there's a sculpture studio and all kinds of fun stuff. So pretty cool place to be. Yeah. And the students that work here generally are just assigned to work in woodcraft. So they apply to Berea College, they get in, and they're assigned a job. And sometimes they find themselves just walking in here to the wood shop going, oh my God, what is this? They have no idea, no aspiration to be a woodworker, but they find themselves in this space. And yeah, it's our job to get them excited about it, which isn't too hard.
That's awesome. Is there like are there just, you said like assigned a job, or do they have like a decision in that, or is that like just whatever's needed?
Yeah, they can have a decision in that. Certainly if there is someone that has some experience working with wood or some sort of craft related pursuit, they can reach out ahead of, coming here and saying, I really like to be in the wood shop, or I'd really like to be in the ceramic studio. And if they communicate that with us, I really want a student that really wants to be in the wood shop. So yeah, we could usually make that happen. But a lot of times, their life is busy. They're getting into a new thing, big new chapter in their life. And they probably forget to like say, I want to work here, so here they are in the wood shop, and it's great. So we have students that are, the students that I have working here with me they're not like craft majors or woodworking majors. They are maybe a nursing major or a business major, an English major, or an engineering major, something like that. I think what we pride ourselves in here at Student Craft is the learning process that happens within our studios applies to everything. It applies to science, it applies to business, it applies to all that stuff, because what we're asking these students to do is design work and produce work, design processes to produce the work. Now we're helping them along that journey, but it's a pretty fully fleshed out education. You guys know, as woodworkers, we're constantly learning, and we're constantly improving, and we're constantly, looking for better ways to do things, and it can be exciting.
So all the products that you're making in the wood shop and the weaving studio and the broom shop and ceramics, you're selling those.
Yeah.
And all that money goes back into the school.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a real life exercise, which I really love about it. It's we're not just working on like one individual product. We're working, or like one individual solo effort. We're all working as a team, as a studio, to produce work and also get it fully out there and actually sell it as well. So it's not just let's make this one thing. It's let's make this thing to the best of our ability, and then also design a process where we can make it again and again and again. And that part I really love. I really love thinking through process, especially as people that are coming right into woodworking are engaging with it. It really makes you think about how you do this so that it's accessible to people, so they can understand the process, they can do it, they can get good at it, and they can improve it. So that's a lot of the excitement that's happening in here.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what makes you a really good author as well for the magazine, is your understanding of the processes makes for not just a great project, but being able to work through all the all the steps, in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Most efficient way.
Yeah. The best way is an interesting thing to say too, because like there's so many, like you guys know, there's so many ways, and there's that's informed by what tools you have available to you. It's informed about how you like to work, whether you want to hear noise at the moment or not hear noise at the moment, or like so many different things. So yeah, it's kind of a fun look at things, and thinking of all the different ways you can do things, and yeah, seeing what people are good at, what people like, what they're interested in.
I know you've had some students who've really excelled and just picked up on it and loved it.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm wondering, like, that must be so rewarding for you. Have you had anybody who's had no experience, came in, just took to it, loved it, is still doing it, has really contributed, a lot more than the average student? And then on the flip side of that, I'm wondering if you've ever had anybody come in and spend a day or two and then run away screaming, like, no way.
Yeah, it's really not our goal here to try to tell people they want to be craftspeople for a living. Because I think you guys all know it's a hard way to make a living. It's a really enjoyable way to make a living. But there's a lot. It's a constant hustle, and some people are interested in that. And if you could see that hustle, you see that spark lit, then the cool thing about what we have here is we have so many resources to lift those people up and to point them into right directions and to introduce them to people and allow for opportunity. So yeah, we have, some people come in here and we could see, oh, this is what you're doing. You can't not do this. Katie, who works with me at Pinecroft, is one of those.
That's who I was thinking
people.
Of when I asked the question. Yeah.
Yeah. When I first came here, Katie was, I think, a junior. As I first sort of got into this shop and started my new job here, and she was an immense help. Really excited about making everything. She would help me to train newer students in doing things. She would help me figure out, me trying to figure out a new space. And yeah, she, her senior year, I just, generally we have, over the course of a year, we'll get into a period of production and then a period of new design work. So when we got into our period of production, Katie had trained several students to take over what her responsibilities were. So it kind of opened her up to just explore. So she has spent that whole year making chairs. And then we just made iteration after iteration until we sort of distilled what the best elements were. And we put that into a new rocking chair. And that's sort of now in production here. When I say in production, it's like maybe once a year we'll make 5 rocking chairs. So it's not super heavy, cranking stuff out of the shop. But yeah, it's put into practice, and yeah, pretty proud of that kind of effort. And now, yeah, Katie's a superstar. She's got work in the Renwick, just a year or 2 out of college. That's pretty impressive. She works with me at Pinecroft as the manager of that space. So if you come take a class at Pinecroft, you'll meet Katie or talk to Katie over email, all those things. Yeah. And we have students right now that are, a few students where I can look at them and say, oh, yes, you're going to be in this world. So how can we make those opportunities? How can we set you up for sort of understanding what that life is all about? Which can be different for everyone. But yeah, it's fun to be able to bring them along. In terms of students that are not super into it, it's rare. Honestly, it's surprising how rare that is. Just because there's so many different things to do and there's so many different ways we could engage, and also a culture that's set up in this space. If you think of It's me and Cleo here is the woodcraft manager. We got 25 students. I mean, if everyone's on board and everyone's positive, it's kind of easy to kind of fall into that, like, that headspace. So it's a lot about setting up culture and sort of setting up, like, we're aspiring to do the very best work we can. I think people like to see that. They like to see people, like, trying really hard to make amazing things, you know? So I think it's hard to come in here and just be unhappy, you know?
I was going to say, that seems so magical to just be so immersed in something that it's your whole life. I can't imagine, not enjoying that in some way. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I mean, every day is different, you know? It's, you know, making things and trying to make things to the very best of your ability is a struggle most days, you know? It's hard. But I think what attracts us to this is that we like that struggle. You know, it's kind of, at least, you know, I don't like it when I'm struggling, but, you know, it's nice to be able to overcome obstacles and, like, all of a sudden have this amazing thing that you made.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I was looking at your the folk futures class you'll be teaching next year. That is so cool. I've loved watching that over the past year. All the instruments. So what does that class involve?
It's going to be, we're going to make an instrument sort of like this guy. So this is something that we have, sort of a product that we worked on this year.
Mm-hmm.
We call it the Dulcimatic.
It's a great name.
So it's like a dulcimer style guitar. The mountain dulcimer has quite a history in this region. Warren May used to be a woodworker, still is a woodworker, lives in town, but he used to have a shop on the kind of the main drag here in Berea, and he would make the mountain dulcimer. So this guy is sort of like, it's a diatonic scale, like a mountain dulcimer, but it's sort of held like a guitar.
Okay. That's super awesome.
It is pretty cool. So I think we're going to make something like this, that we might make a couple instruments. I went around this time last year, I went down to Beth Ireland's studio in St. Petersburg, Florida. And I've been a musician since I was a teenager, and a woodworker since, you know, my early 20s or so. And I never made an instrument over that, you know, 20 years of woodworking, just because I felt like it was, I don't know, it felt kind of like the people that make instruments are like, this is hard. You can't do this. You know, it's very, you know, very tricky. You gotta be a master.
Daunting,
it
right.
looks, yeah.
And that's true, but it's also not true. So what Beth gave me was immediate permission and immediate, like, yeah, we're just going to do this. It's a sculpture that hangs on the wall, and maybe we can make it sound good. And I don't know if you've seen her instruments, but they're just outstanding. They're stunning. So cool. So yeah, I got to go to her shop for 3 days, and we made this little strumstick style guitar. And that gave me enough of the, like, things that I need to know about, like, laying out a scale and installing frets and that kind of stuff, where I could say, oh, this isn't that tricky. Now that's wrong. It is that tricky, but it's like anything. There's a scale of, you get better at things over time. And what I really love is being fresh to a process and being at a space where I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm learning something new every day, and I'm improving things, and it's just exciting to do. So yeah, over this past year, I've been making instruments, and it's been a lot of fun and really rewarding. And it's really cool to work on this smaller scale and get to use all of the tricks in your bag in terms of doing inlay and using fancy materials and, like, combining things. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, this class should be hopefully I could set you on that same kind of path.
I love that.
Yeah, me
and some
too.
of the jigs you posted, like the I don't know what it would be called, the like the brace thing that you're. I don't
there's
know
a
enough
name
about
for that, and I
instrument
don't know
making.
what it is either. I forget. There's like it's like a essentially two plates that are separated by threaded rods, probably about 2 feet high, something like that. And then I just made some ash bendy sticks. So the bendy sticks put pressure down on the braces that get glued on the inside of the guitar top. So it's essentially like a clamp. And
Mhm.
Katie suggested as I was making it that I should put a Lazy Susan on it, which
I was gonna say
kind
super
of made
smart.
it epic. So yeah, you could spin it around. You could, and I also got to go out and get some plasti dip for the ends of the ash. So they had some little like rubbery, sticky things. And that was a highlight of my year.
That's fun.
Yeah, that was super smart. And yeah, these instruments are just beautiful. And yeah, it seems like an intimidating. I felt like instrument making is so intimidating. Like when Ben even talks about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I could never do this. So it's just cool to see, that being available to be able to take a course and make an instrument in 5 days is really amazing to me.
It's going to take 6 days, Amanda.
Or 6
Yeah.
Right. Totally.
Yeah, I think it all depends on like what your the instruments that I've made, like the ones that I started with, they weren't perfect. And I think it's being okay that like you start there. I think if anything, you start from a place where I've got to hit perfection. Like if I was starting there, I would still be making the first one now. I wouldn't have finished in a year. But for me, it's like pushing past that need for perfection to like make multiples and like get better on each one. I think you can make a lot more progress doing it that way versus just nailing it the first time.
That's a really good approach. And like you said, on the scale they are, I guess it's easier to do that process. But I do like that because I do get stuck on things and trying to achieve perfection, and yeah, just kind of committing to it and knowing you're going to do iterations of it is a really good approach to that.
Yeah. I think it's important to try to achieve perfection, but also important to recognize that you never are going to, and just move past it.
Right.
Yeah.
We had a couple questions from our Discord channel that we could jump into. Since this is the first podcast of the year, this is pretty appropriate.
Oh, is it going to be the first one of 2026?
It is, yeah. It is, yeah. January 2nd.
Great.
So,
I'm going to cough our way into the new year. It's going to be awesome. So sorry.
Strong start. You're doing fine. I'm not even hearing it.
Okay.
So the question is, what is something that's getting you excited for the new year, whether it be personally, professionally, for yourself or others? And I agree. I think we could all use some good excitement in our lives right now.
Yeah. Well, right now, Student Crafter in the wood shop, we're working on tables for the Boone Tavern. It's a hotel and restaurant on campus. So our whole team has, from the weavers to the potters to the broom makers, we've all sort of outfitted their restaurant with all different types of craft objects. We've made, I think, 15 tables right now. Right now we're in the process of making another 15 or 20. So I'm excited to see that whole space completely fitted out with these tables.
Cool.
Yeah, the restaurant space did a big renovation, asked all of Student Craft to kind of engage with that. And it's been really nice to see all of our work in one space, a space that's going to be hanging out for 100 years or so. I don't know how many years, maybe 200 years, maybe 300 years. We talked about time earlier.
Fast
Who knows?
and slow.
Yeah. So that's exciting. Excited to get into some new design work with the students. They have ideas about a number of different things, so getting into that. And yeah, I don't know, just one step at a time. Excited about. I got to show you guys this for the woodworkers amongst you. This is our new bench brush.
Ooh,
yeah.
that's beautiful.
So this is a really nice little. We just kind of finished making these guys.
Oh, how are you doing that bend?
Yeah.
So this is there's a spline in here, so it's just a solid piece of walnut with a spline fit into that little loop.
Oh,
and then this whole thing slides into a 2 plow cuts that are in here.
Yep. It's a very cool
nice little
design detail for
horsehair. So you're going to get on these guys fast before they go away.
They're really beautiful.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah. Excited about so much.
That's really cool. How about you, Anissa?
Well, the two things that I'm kind of excited about are not woodworking per se, but both kind of in a creative thing, I think. So the whole woodworking thing, clearly I love it, but and I feel as though getting in my shop, and I know I complain about this all the time with the amount of time that I have, and kind of ties into what you were talking about with the musical instruments. There's this pressure, that self-imposed pressure, to get in there and make something perfect and beautiful, and I just don't have the time for that. Given everything, and then the state of my shop, and so I've been doing a lot of ceramics lately, and it's amazing the crossover between woodworking and ceramics. Obviously, the material that you're using is very different, but all the little tricks to do everything are so cool, and the tooling is different, but to do the same thing, whether you're planing a straight surface or you're beveling a surface or you're smoothing a surface. Like, it's so crazy to me how I used to think pattern making and sewing was very similar to woodworking, and I still do, but and I'm hand building, I'm not turning, because that's super frustrating. But so I'm very excited to keep doing that. And obviously I'm never going to stop woodworking, but right now that's been a nice creative outlet for me. And then I'm going to pick up my, every year I say I'm going to do a Polaroid photo per day for the entire year, and then look at them at the end of the year. And then I look and see how much it would cost to buy Polaroid film for the entire year. And I bag that idea. But I think this year I'm going to start shooting film again. I'm going to just have my camera with me all the time and just shoot black and white film. Just a few shots every day, and, develop them and see what happens. And those are two non-woodworking things that I'm excited about. But I also have a woodworking project for a friend coming up. I know she's not going to listen to this. So years and years ago, she cut down a cherry tree in her front yard of her house, where she had her child, and our children used to play together. And she had asked me if I wanted that, the logs from that tree. And I said, sure. And I took the logs and I had them cut, and they've been sitting there probably in my shop for the last 10 years. And she has a big birthday coming up. So I am planning to make something very cool out of that tree for her. And hopefully she's not listening to this, because I want it to be a great surprise. So those are my 3 excitements.
That's cool. I like the idea of incorporating different types of craft into woodworking, or just it being adjacent.
Yeah.
I talked about earlier in the year doing French beading, and Ben sent me a little kit to get started doing that, and it's still there, and I need to do it, like finish it up. But it's nice having like a little bit of a break from woodworking, because it still inspires you, just working with a different medium. But stepping away, I think, is, as to something else for a minute, it's always a good idea.
Yeah.
It's one of the great things about working where I am, where we've got a broom shop down the road and a weaving studio. When I say down the road, I mean like 30 steps that way, and the weaving studio over here and ceramic studio down the hill. So, using different processes and sort of combining them into one, like that brush I was showing you is a collab between us and the broom studio.
Oh yeah.
We do a lot of that kind of work. And just for your own personal work, like I'm working on a cabinet on stand now. So it has these little braided reed, and so our broom makers can do this kind of stuff. Katie did this one because she's also a really talented broom maker. But it's really fun. And for me, I don't like to engage in those things. I just like to walk them down the road and say, "Can you do this?" And this is my one ceramics project. So this is my first and only mug. I retired.
I like it. I like the asymmetry.
Yeah, thanks.
And the glaze.
I found it did not come naturally to me at all. I felt it was really difficult. I was shocked at how much that little lump of mud pushed me around on the wheel.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, centering it.
yeah, exactly. I can't. I love to hand build, but I can't even. That's just making me anxious even talking about it. It is, there's so much subtlety to it. And it is, I feel like with wood, you're in charge of the material. You tell the material and you make the material do what you want it to do. With clay, it's like this wild, disobedient, especially on the wheel. With clay on the wheel, it's like a spoiled toddler. Does whatever it wants. Doesn't care what you think about it.
Yeah, it's interesting looking at the different disciplines here. And I think broomcraft and ceramics, it feels like they can work on something and finish it fairly in one sitting. Whereas in the wood shop and in weaving, it's much more sort of advanced planning and process and going through, and it's interesting to me to see that. Now turning at the lathe, I think, is the only thing that comes close to you can make an object, and it's always fun to watch someone make a broom or watch someone turn a pot. But in terms of woodworking, there's not that much that's immediately satisfying, over watching it for a minute or so,
Sure. Yeah, who wants to watch somebody mill wood? Yeah.
I think we've all done
I've always found that on Instagram, I'll see ceramics, somebody throwing on a wheel for a reel or something. And I'm like, I could watch this forever. It's so hard for me to come up with content that looks interesting. Really so much sanding. Nobody wants to watch sanding happen,
Somebody does.
Maybe.
There are probably a lot of dorky woodworkers that would like to watch somebody just sanding. Oh, wait, what? How did they make that sanding block? What grit are they using? Right. How can they tell when it's time to change the paper?
Very small group of people.
Yeah. Maybe you guys should try that. Just a fine woodworking video on just sanding.
Maybe.
3 hours.
We just did, it'll be out by now, but we just did a glue up tip video a few weeks ago. And I was like, it actually turned out pretty good. I was like, I would watch this. But glue up doesn't even seem that interesting. But
glue ups are always interesting.
Stressful, yeah.
But drama.
Yeah. I'll start writing down these ideas for sure. I'm personally, for the new year, I just moved into a much smaller space for my wood shop, 140 square feet. So that's going to be really interesting setting that up. It's pretty tiny, but that's really all I got on my plate for the new year.
That's exciting.
We have a couple more questions. Yeah, I think a new space can be really inspiring because there's a lot. Just opportunity and stuff. So I feel pretty good about it. We have a couple more questions. How does one help students or themselves through a frustration point or a mental block. I can see Rob being a wealth of knowledge in that.
Yeah. That's interesting. I think it's important. I like when I'm teaching a class, I like for there to be an emotional arc over the course of a week. And I think it's important that you feel that frustration and you work your way through it. So it's not certainly we try to help people out of that, but I think it's important to like be frustrated and important to like overcome it. And so if I see someone that's frustrated, I'll usually let them sort of be with that for a little while, because it's an important part of the process, and it's an important part of empowering yourself to then rise up out of that and realize, oh, I fixed that. Because I think I don't think there's probably any project either of you have ever done in your lives where you haven't reached a point of frustration. And if you're by yourself, there's no one that's going to come along and say, oh, just do that. And then for me also, like as a person, in terms of learning, I often have to mess something up first to truly understand the why. So, if I have someone just say, do it this way, like I can't accept that. Like I want to try several different ways, and then you can really sort of fully understand why, oh, they were right, but sometimes I think it's important to go through that process. And here at Student Craft, it's they can get frustrated if they're having a hard time with learning something. But I think as teachers, we're here to show them that failure is part of the process. It's not like something that you're trying to avoid. It's the only way to get through to success is to fail over and over and over again. And I think it's, as you've been at this for a long time, you develop a whole bunch of I think of it as a bag of tricks where you've got you can use this thing to overcome this thing and that thing to overcome that thing. But as you're just starting, you don't have many tricks in your bag. So it's kind of building those up. But I think it's, in order to really get an understanding of it, you have to see that progression yourself. And at least that's the way I learn. I have to be able to see the actual, why do we do it this way? And I continue to learn that way. And I think it's also important to show students that as someone that's been doing this for 20 years, I'm learning every day too. And you never know everything. And so, let them fail, Amanda.
I really like that. I've never considered that as a teaching thing, but I guess you want, the way I've always felt about having students is you want them to have the best experience possible, right? Yeah. But that is so important. It's you actually, to fail in a classroom setting is the best place to do so, right? And it does come with every project. We try to curate a class to just go so smoothly and perfectly, but things happen.
Yeah, well, that's important to do as a teacher, is to try to make sure it goes smoothly and perfectly. And honestly, your life is much easier if you're super prepared and you got everything dialed in and but it's not as rewarding for everyone if there's no room for failure. I think you just learn a lot more. You feel a lot more empowered to be able to, my goal in teaching a class at Pinecroft or here at Student Craft is that you're not just there for the week to make this thing the most efficient means possible. You're there to figure out, how am I going to do this when I get home? How am I going to be able to repeat these processes without, 2 table saws and a mortiser and a 16-inch joiner and, all the routers and all this kind of stuff. So oftentimes in classes, we'll be doing things a less efficient means just because it's teaching you how you're going to be able to do this, in your own world. Because our world here at Student Craft and Pinecroft, we are spoiled. We have so many things. It's so nice.
So you're teaching them to fish, essentially.
Yeah. I think
That's cool.
it is.
I like what
It
you
is.
said earlier about a vacation wood shop.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a new life goal. Vacation
Oh
wood
man,
shop.
you should see Pinecroft. It's nice.
That's where you are, right?
Right now I'm at Student Craft.
Oh, you are.
Yeah. Yep. This is my office here in the bench room of Student Craft. Yeah.
I can't keep my eyes off. I know you're Spike. Is it Spike?
Yeah.
That's one thing, but I'm loving those birdhouses. Or not the birdhouses, the bird feeders.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering what this was.
That was that's been my this week project.
I love them.
I heard over dinner that somebody wanted bird feeders for Christmas. So, and then also I heard from students a couple weeks ago, they're interested in making bird feeders for one of the new kind of design projects. So knocking out 2 birds with one stone with one bird feeder, 3 bird feeders.
So
I love the
turned?
color combinations.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Let me grab one.
I love that this is like a show and tell,
Right.
basically.
I was debating, show us Spike or show us the bird feeders.
Oh, those are so cool.
Yeah, there's just there's segments. So this is like a segment that goes in here, and these are kind of
Oh, that's
and then
pretty
turned.
cheeky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're super fast. Like, I don't know, it's like a 2-hour project of like zipping these guys together.
Are you turning them or hand planing them after? You could do
Turning
either, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't hand plane them after. They would look bad if I did that. But yeah, so this is also an example of like me failing. Like I have a pretty strong suspicion that my birdseed is just going to fall out of these holes. I don't know. There's like fittings. If you look at bird feeders, there's like a little roof inside. But you just got to do it and see what happens and then fix it. So it's like a 2-hour affair to make this. I just want to see the birdseed fall out, so I know that I've got to do something else.
I want to see the squirrel wars underneath.
Yeah, this one's going to be a squirrel problem because the birdseed is just going to fall, come out down here. But in shopping for birdseed, they make birdseed now that is flavored with habanero. So apparently the squirrels think it's too spicy.
Oh.
But the birds don't.
Because birds don't have
I guess the birds don't. But also it's like $20 for a little bag of birdseed. So you got to really not like the squirrels. Yeah, I've got raccoons that are going to. So yeah, these next few months, they're going to be hung up out in the yard and we'll see how they hold up to the elements, how they hold up to squirrels and raccoons.
Take some video.
All that stuff.
Yeah,
I'll try.
for sure.
I'll try. I'll put out the trail
That's good content.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And we're coming up on time, but I feel like this we like to ask new guests this question. It's all-time favorite tool.
All-time favorite tool. That's a tough one.
It could be a recent one. It's just our
yeah. I guess I go for my 6-inch ruler often. I really like that. This Travisher that I got from Claire Minahan is really nice. It's I have to show you because it's so nice.
Well, Rob is getting Rob is getting the Travisher.
Yeah, this is probably this guy.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh yeah. Look at that marquetry in there. It's so pretty.
Yep. So I'm going to say that's my all-time favorite tool.
How about you guys?
Oh.
Do you do this every time?
Yeah, we change it every time. Okay. But I feel as though I say the same thing every single time. What have I been using recently? My Festool. I've been making these frames for my ancient antique windows to put a little bit of a weather barrier on. And I realized, like, this tool is really great. It's nothing super new or inventive, but at this point, but it's just such a handy tool. It's so easy to use.
The domino?
The domino, yeah. What did I say?
Yeah.
Did I say sander? Did I just say
No,
festool?
you just said festal, but
yeah,
I
sorry.
figured I put together.
Yeah, the domino. It's so...
It is.
It is one of the greatest woodworking inventions in the last... How long has it been around? 20 years, maybe? 15?
So,
Not that long,
Yeah.
Put a little marquetry in it. Fancy it up a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, I have about 12 of them to make. I don't think that's happening. But
I meant in your domino.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely not happening.
I think.
What about you, Amanda? What's your favorite tool?
I'm working on it right now. If a shop cart is a tool, counts as a tool, it would be that. Like I said, I'm moving into a much smaller space, but it has a big shared machine space. So moving stuff back and forth is going to be a big thing, moving parts around. So I've been designing a shop cart for a while. That's going to be probably my first project of the year, is just having that. So not carrying material all the way across a giant shop.
That's smart.
Yeah,
it sounds like your place is pretty small, though. Don't you just have to turn?
Well,
really necessary?
I have like a little room for my personal stuff, and then there's a big machine that I can mill stuff and take back to the smaller room. But
that's a cool setup, actually.
I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be really good, especially for like doing the stuff we do for web videos, and because that's always been kind of a thing. Of like, I had a corner, but coordinating with people, and this is an enclosed space. So.
Right.
Yeah. I'll make that
Carts
a lot of things better.
Carts are really important here. Our shop is like the length of a football field.
Oh, it is huge.
So we've got a big bench room and then a machine room in the next room. And if you forget your safety glasses on the other end, which I do at least 9 times a day, you get your steps in.
Yep. Yeah, I'm bad about tape measures.
You need a cart for your safety glasses, Rob.
I know. Yeah. I just need like 9 pairs that are strategically placed, but they'd all end up in the same spot, so it wouldn't work for me.
Right. I feel that.
There's also a shop apron.
Right.
No.
Awesome. Well, I hope you guys have a good New Year and good holidays, and thank you so much, Rob, for joining us. I'm glad we've been talking about this Ben and I had been talking about this most of this year, was having you on. So I'm glad we got to make it happen.
Well, I'm glad you guys invited me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, happy 2026, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you. Same to you.
So that wraps the first episode of the year for Shop Talk Live. I thought it was a great conversation. If you thought so, please like and subscribe to our newish YouTube channel, or anywhere you listen to our podcasts. We always appreciate it and appreciate the feedback. I'm looking very much forward to the rest of the year. We have some really good ideas coming up for the podcast, but again, you can always email us and give us feedback if you have some ideas or suggestions or just questions to get ready for the next guest. I, again, am very much looking forward to the rest of this year and really appreciate all of you who listen to this podcast. It's a fun thing to do. It's something I really enjoy about working at Fine Woodworking, and I hope you enjoy it as well. And we will see you in a couple of weeks.